I got a 3-pack for you today to send you down the rabbit holes. It's Tinfoil Tuesday.
So if you like exposing truth and dropping truth bombs, then welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday.
I want the truth.
Well, a big Shazam to you people. It's Tinfoil Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of fun, a little bit of a different episode today. I do short form videos. These videos take me 1 to 2 hours per minute. Y'all know that. And folks often, especially after last week's episode on the Oklahoma City bombing, say, Johnny, why don't you do long form? I don't have the bandwidth. But what I can do, and I'm going to do it today, is send you down 3 different rabbit holes. I'm going to give you a little bit on each, enough for you to chase it. I'm nervous about the second one, holy smokes, and the third one is so big. It is wildly interesting, but it should be fun. Buckle up. Today's episode is brought to you by this one. Am I the only one around here that gives a crap about the Constitution? Sometimes it feels that I am. This one is going to be a conversation starter for you and your friends, and it's a lot of fun to wear. Ask me how I know. I just came back in from lunch, and it was a conversation starter there. Brought to you by TristarTrading.com. Link is right down below. You people, thanks for everything. My voice is still shot from goals. Y'all have been amazing this week. Appreciate y'all. Thumbs up is great. A comment is even better. Hit subscribe if you feel that I've earned it. I've got some rabbit holes for you. This is all incomplete. After last week's episode, folks were like, Johnny, you left out, you buried the lead. You left it all out. I left 2 big ones out. The first one, the big one, rhymes with flight flotter, whitewater, and somebody whose name rhymes with Killary. Of course, I left that out. I ain't touching that one. But the other one is a guy named Paul Weissapal. There he is right there. He is Tampa's special agent in charge, Paul Weissapal. This was as of September 13th, the FBI's Tampa division. Don't know where he is right now, but he has a lot of information available online. And with that comes a lot of high-res images. These are problematic at best. Check this out. When you take Timothy McVeigh and you take the patterns of his ear, which you all know this, ears are just as identifiable as fingerprints. And they line up awfully well, as does the cowlick and as does the overall head structure and skull structure, especially the brows. Some of the similarities in the teeth are really weird. Now, I don't know if it is, but if it is Timothy McVeigh, it begs a lot of questions. Number one, do they think we're dumb? I think they do. I really do think they think we are this dumb. All of this stuff is on a continuum. There's things that I know. There are ships out there that do 600 mile an hour left-hand turns, right-hand turns, 90-degree turns that would liquefy the human brain and human organs, but we know that they exist. Mega data on that. That's not even arguable. What they are, who made them, where they came from. We don't know. I don't know. But we know that those ships do wild things. Then there's things that we have no idea about, and we get into Nephilim or wheels within the wheel. Fun stuff to talk about, but I don't know. Big question marks. The direct center on the continuum is Michelle Obama's pee-pee. This one with Timothy McVeigh, I don't know. I lean a little bit, the wee-wee goes a little bit towards, maybe on this one. I didn't mention that last week, and I've been talking to some friends about that over the last several days, and it's fun to look at and talk about. Chase that rabbit hole, pop the parachute and jump. It's a wild ride, but you can find a lot out there on Paul Weissapal. To quote my friend that I mentioned last week, Louie, I don't know, but I do know that I've been lied to. This next one I'm a little bit nervous about because this one, bang, gets dismissed instantly. I find instant dismissal problematic as a foundational belief or having that as part of our character traits. I know people, if you mention something, they'll go, that's a conspiracy. And they dismiss it all. I believe it's just a conspiracy is living in a Walter Cronkite era of I believe everything the news says. We all went through COVID, and when you come out of that, you have to adjust your thinking in that we know that the White House press secretary is nothing but a ball of lies in some administrations. We know that every federal agency lies to us. We know that every federal agency has a dark past, almost without exclusion, especially the 3-letter agencies. And so we know that they don't have the best interests of the American people at heart. We know that. But there's people that came through the COVID era, and they still trust the news. They still trust the narrative. After last week's episode, folks were really upset, a few, that I had even gone to Wikipedia. I think Wikipedia is fantastic in looking at the established narrative and having that as the baseline, and then I start to question and jump off from that point. I got to get to it. It is the Patterson Gimlin film. I came a long way around on this one. Y'all know last summer, I spent the whole summer of 24 deep diving, podcasting, reading books on a lot of different areas, especially UFOs. And I talked to the Patreon folks about this a lot, but about UFOs and angels and Nephilim and all that. And I come back to the Patterson Gimlin film and I stop and I'm like, all right, let's reinvestigate this, because I've always gone, it's grainy. And these guys were out looking for the North American ape, and they found a video. They got a video of it on Super 8. It's real shaky, and that always gets me going, I don't know. But then a lot of investigation has been done. Here's a great place to start. It is a channel called Cabin in the Woods, and he has done a whole series on Bigfoot. But his episode, Bigfoot Proof 3, Ironclad Reasons the Patterson Gimlin film is real, is a great watch. It's not long. It is 29 minutes long, but there's some great things in that would at least get you thinking. My goal is, one, to entertain myself, but number two, to get you thinking and going, this is interesting. Let's chase this rather than doom scrolling on Facebook or Instagram tonight. Here's two interesting things about this. And yes, I know that there have been people that came out at the end of their life and said, I made the suit. One gentleman that says he made the suit, and Cabin in the Woods deals with this. He tried to recreate it, and it's laughable. It's impossible. If it's a suit, it's problematic for suit makers. The way that the fur overlays over the shoulders cannot be recreated. But the other big one, the one that gets my attention, is when this female Squatch maybe takes steps, the ripples in the muscle are impossible to recreate. We could do it today with AI or CGI, but back then, and it's an impossibility. You put a little person in that suit, their skin and the muscles underneath the fur don't ripple like that. Up in the thigh area, there's some really interesting things. I used to have a problem with the light-colored foot pads, but then you find out that she is walking in a river that currently has no water in it, and is walking through silt, and it's all light-colored silt sticking to her feet pads. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Folks will dismiss me when I say, hey, Bigfoot's interesting to talk about, and they dismiss me entirely. I think it's fun. I think because we have, I don't see mine right here, but we all have an HD camera with us. In 2025, I don't know, we should have more video of it. But as far as this one, back in the day, it's interesting. Let me know what you say. That's my question today for all of y'all. Let me know down below what you find out on this one. Specifically to the Patterson Gimlin film, it is wildly interesting. For years, and I mean decades, I dismissed this film in its entirety. I've come back around to the point of, I don't know, question mark. All right, this next one is huge. We have to, in 2025, make a blanket based on little threads and little pieces. We hear this, and we have to weave it together. There is no Wikipedia article on Hollywood. Not unlike what we learned from the pizza situation in Washington, D.C., that's one thread, and that one unraveled big time. That one is fishy, super fishy. In Hollywood, we know that there are controlling agencies, people, or organizations or states that control these folks. Not all of them, but there are some that seem, when you watch interview after interview and people that piece this stuff together, it seems that some people are handed wild amounts of money, tens of millions, to do what they're told, but they have to go through humiliation rituals, possibly having one of their family members offed, and they end up doing what they're told, but they get great wealth as a return. Here's one that popped up on The Voice, and we talked about this about a year ago on here, and this girl on The Voice throws up the Baphomet symbol, and then she stops, and John Legend shuts her down. You can see it right there, and I see terror in her face, terror in her eyes. She knew what she was doing. That gets thrown around in Hollywood, or the one eye in Hollywood. That's everywhere. But she has what I find to be a visceral reaction is honesty. That is her true self. Celebrities, when they're on stage, they are playing a character. She lets it slip. That's a wild one. We know that there's something off with Kevin Hart, has been for a long, long time, that it seems like he has taken the deal. And when he was on a while back on the Kelly Clarkson show, she began to talk about the wild amounts of money offered to her, and Kevin Hart shuts it down. Check it out.
But I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been offered, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can talk about anything. But
don't do it.
yeah,
And so in this one, we're looking at Hollywood and all of these little pieces. There's another one that you can chase if you'd like to. In the 2009 VMA Awards ceremony, Taylor Swift, everyone's favorite, comes up on stage to accept an award, but she didn't pay homage to the right person. She didn't thank the right person. We figured that out since. And then Kanye comes up, y'all remember this, and grabs her microphone and says, "I'm gonna let you finish," and interrupts the ceremony, interrupts the award. And we all thought Kanye was crazy. Possibly he is, I don't know. But it looks like he might have been protecting her because she didn't pay homage to the right person. That you can chase. Now, in the 90s, kids, ask your grandparents. In the 90s, Dave Chappelle had the show. The Chappelle Show was phenomenally successful. There are no words that can describe the impact it had on comedy at that time. I believe one of the funniest shows of all time. Y'all know the Wikipedia narrative, which is they got in a contract dispute and he took off to Africa. A lot of folks since then, and especially in the last 5 years, have come out and said, no, he went to Ohio and he didn't go anywhere, but it was really, really fishy the way it all went down. Now, Jay BREUER, some of y'all remember him. He was on Roseanne Barr's podcast not that long ago, and he began to talk about during that era, because he had a sitcom with Dave that was in its, I think they filmed 6 episodes of it, part of the whole Tool Time and Home Improvement spinoff. And he said during that time, Dave received a visit. If you do nothing else today, one, think. But number 2, check out this episode. It's the Roseanne Barr episode. I will link to it down below, where Jay BREUER talks sort of openly to Roseanne about Dave Chappelle receiving the visit, which creates terror, and you do what you're told. This is one of the best windows we have to this secrecy. It is one of the best threads that we have to be able to weave it all together. This interview, and I don't say this lightly, it blew me away when I saw it, and I'm like, he's talking about this openly. Dave Chappelle was never the same. There's a lot of theories about how when he came back, he was not the same person, maybe literally. I don't believe that, but there's a lot of talk about that. He switched so radically as an individual. There's folks, including Jay, that question whether that's even Dave. I'm not that far. Now, I said all that to say this. Think for yourself. Choose your rabbit holes. Jump down it. Learn stuff. Don't rely just on people to say, hey, this is the way it is, because I'm throwing question marks at you. I told you on episode 1 of the Tinfoil Tuesday episodes that I am into question marks. I'm not into periods. Periods, we know that we know stuff. Not interesting to me. Jump down these rabbit holes and see what you think.
Welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. We hope you sing along.
You want answers? Diabetes.